Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Unknown Armies, Book 1, Play. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this tabletop RPG, where you attempt to reach your objectives and goals through occult means and fight the status quo, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about various things such as tactics and other hassles. When it comes to tactics, this book covers everything from aiming to throwing the furniture, that is, using improvised weapons, disarming someone, knocking down someone, and it's all very simple to handle. You make a roll, perhaps related to your identity, maybe it's related to struggle or a fitness roll, and then based on the result, something happens. You're going to get penalties and bonuses, modifiers depending on the situation, and you have details on what happens when you roll a fumble, a matched failure, a failure or success, a matched success, or even a critical. Now when it comes to grappling, this is a bit more complex. You basically have a small diagram or grid, and depending on the result of the rolls, you are going to go up or down this diagram or grid. So eventually, the one with more successes may end up pinning down the opponent, incapacitating the opponent. You also have details on when there is a dog pile, obviously not good for the one that is underneath everyone else. You also have details on what happens when you use edged weapons. You're going to be dealing automatic damage because you are so close to the opponent. If you are armed with a knife or a broken bottle, you do have a certain advantage. But when it comes to guns, unless you have the complete advantage over your opponent, you have him pinned down or whatever, then you can use the gun. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible for you to properly aim the weapon. Now, using this grid or diagram, you can handle any sort of situation. If it's a race against time, some sort of prolonged test situation like putting out a fire, carrying out a trial, like a criminal case, a chase scene, anything can be handled through the grid. You will be going up and down that diagram or grid depending on the results. You also have details on miscellaneous harm, for example, car crashes, conflagration, drowning, getting sick. When it comes to medicine, the golden hour treatment, of course. If you treat the patient in time, it's going to be much better. There are also details on hospital stays, how the patient recovers. Obviously, if you have grievous injuries, it's not going to help if you are constantly moving around, jumping, fighting, etc. There are also details on therapy. As you experience mental trauma, you can actually turn that into a hardened notch instead, as the patient receives the proper counseling, treatment, and the like. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about the weirdness of the world, the setting. When it comes to this gridiron system, that's how it's called in this section, it's a great system to handle any sort of prolonged situation. It's not complex, it may sound a bit of a hassle, a hassle to handle assorted hassles, but it's actually quite simple. But you are also advised to handle things with a few simple checks if you like, or just a single check. It all depends on the level of detail when it comes to handling the situations, what you and your group enjoys. Now when it comes to the assorted tactics and strategies, they are quite simple for the most part. When it comes to grappling, it's a bit more complex because of the grid system, but this will flow quite smoothly as you get the hang of it. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.